So sitting next to you, or sitting behind you or front, so sitting next to you, you might be sitting next to a black devil.
It states in Psalms chapter 82, verse 6, I have said ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High.
This is the Elder Raziel with a message for the children of the Elohim. I walked a long journey on the short path, grafted as non-mind, as mind expands, math itself came through with the master teacher. Get wealth from what I have to teach you, not a preacher. The Anunnaki created this creature, fully packed with features. Nuwabu knocking off leeches. Peace to Malachi, Ziyor, Noble Jew Ali, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, respect and pay homage from the Nuwabian tribe. We hope to see you. We still kicking the flows. All the girls know. Just list the show so your mind grows toward a genetic explosion. X out whoever was chosen by deception to sell out Negro, the greatest destruction. Without question, knowledge is a weapon. Like Cain, ain't no half stepping to a greater direction.
Bud Nator Shil Yachad Nuwabakedi Waloi Maorwo, the pledge of the United Nuwabian Nation of Moors. Ama Kakdemu Sefunut Hade Gedash Manuf, as I stand beneath our sacred and holy flag. Kanderu Ruki Maul Te Kehikano Ama Kashkeru Zitaur. I vow to be loyal, obedient as I watch it fly. Ru ganunwu shil manut naonut, faref nawus weloinut. To the laws of our constitution that govern our nation. Ru hare sabu kahmelu tubusubhem. To this cause I hold my head up high. Akara garur kanteru ru harus hade tahum. With pride, I pledge to protect and defend. Kalu akara hare walao waloi, kalu hanuf hade samur. All within this great nation, both family and friend. Ru yankud faref karetkut mu adorhut hagoyu, to ensure all has their equal rights. Ru hare sabu kazur gedu atnachum. To this cause, I will lay down my very life. Ama kapdemu, tachuth, haresan, un, hade, gedash, danun. As I stand beneath this sacred and holy seal. Kanderu, nafusum, mewa, chelas, hade, kazut menu, tiat, mewikenu, akara, chera. I vow myself loyal, sincere, and vow integrity with zeal.
All right. This is your host, MUDHUTHA Hedokayu, and this is Rit Nalej Radio. Today is April 23rd, 2023. Nuwabic time, year 82, 13th month, second week, second day. Oh, I'm sorry, first day. All right, you know the first day of any week is Anu, even on the short week of only 4 days. Right. 5, 5, 5. Then the last one 4. It makes our number 19. So, you know that's the way the master teacher set it up, and that's the way it will be. Now today, I had some things on my mind personally, you know what I mean, about women, because I'm just going to tell y'all right now, I'm not with my wife anymore. You know, she definitely was not the woman for me. So we actually broke up about 4 months ago. So I was, you know, going through some things that first month, second month too, but second month it was a lot better because I realized, you know, I made the right decision to kick her out, right? Because you know. Well, all she cared about was sex, which is good, right? I mean, it's good, have a good, sexy, healthy relationship, but she didn't communicate. She didn't communicate very well. And that's something that I need from my wife. Now, if me and her were just dating and that was my girlfriend, or there's some girl I was messing with on the side, sure. I wouldn't mind just knocking it out. You know what I mean? But you say you're my wife, but you don't know how to be a wife, and I couldn't really teach her how to be a wife because I'm not a woman. All I could say is what I want from my wife. Going back to the Family Guide. You know what I mean? And then, I was teaching about Nuwabu for like 4 years. I feel like I just wasted my time. Put a lot of effort in. But toward the end of the relationship, I remember having a conversation with her, and I told her I give up on you. I've given too much energy. I don't have nothing else to give. We moved to the land of Nuwabian, 5 acres, 1 acre for us, other 4 acres for the community, and we got 5 other acres on the other side of town that we own. But got her a Hummer, a Polaris, a Kawasaki. When we were living in North Las Vegas, got her a beauty salon. I bought a new house in Vegas. You know what I mean? I did as much as I could do, and all I asked was to have some companionship, and she just couldn't do it. And I'm like, well, then I'm done. So I feel like even before we got a divorce, I'd already quit on her. You know what I mean? And then she's up, she has a drinking problem. When she drinks, she talks a lot of crap. And so we got into fights over that too. And so it just, after a while, she had 2 other marriages where she was, her husband would set her up on dates to have sex with men for money. She's Mexican, by the way. I guess, Mexicans don't give a damn about their women at all. At all. I mean, they pimp out their wife like they just met her. You know what I mean? So, sad case of events, but that's the type of stuff that I took on. Now, I've been in relationships too, but I would never allow myself to be taken advantage, like a turn into a male prostitute or something like that. I was raised better than that, so that obviously that wouldn't fly with me. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know exactly what she went through, because she didn't really keep it real with me. The second day I met her, she's already asking me for money, so that should have been a red flag right there. But I made some mistakes, and definitely want to stick with my own people as far as Nuwabians and Morenas than to date outside my race again. Even dating inside your race with a black girl who has no culture, that won't work for me either. That will not work for me. That will not work. So I did meet somebody. Well, actually, I had talked to her before I got divorced from my wife. So we're just talking. You know what I mean? We're fond of each other, so that's all I could really ask for. Hold on, give me one. All right, I had to reposition my mic so I sound good on here. So at the end of the day, I wanted to talk about relationships and the UNNM Family Guide, formerly known as the HTM Family Guide, as we move toward a more nationalistic, tribalistic point of view on how we raise our families. Now, I'm not going to get into the book right now, but I am going to relate it probably in the next episode, start reading excerpts from the book that kind of relate to what I'm going through and a lot of other Moorish men are going through when trying to find the right mate, which I think is important, because if you got a woman too wrapped up in American society, you could forget it. You could forget it. Her mind is too far gone into, like, I don't know, shaking her booty at the club. Excuse me. Yeah, shaking her booty at the club, or, her and her homegirl calling each other bitches like it's respectable. It's like black people calling each other niggas like it's respectable. That's why the world laughs at these people. You know what I mean? Because that's the invention of the Caucasoid. They got you doing that to each other. So, at the end of the day, as a man, as a Nuwabian man, you gotta put your foot down with these women, because they going crazy now, man. They going crazy now. I'm not just saying that in my situation. I'm saying that because I'm watching YouTube. I'm talking to other brothers, and their girl's mind is in fantasy land. Oh, I don't have to do anything, just look pretty, and you're supposed to give me money. And I'm like, are you my woman, or are you my daughter? Because it kind of seems like they want to be a man's daughter, but still have sex with him and do fellatio and all that. Well, I don't do fellatio with my daughter. I do fellatio with a woman, my wife, my girlfriend, but I'm not doing fellatio with my daughter. So if you want daughter privileges, you need to go talk to your father, or maybe go adopt a father so he can perform those duties that you would like. I'm not into the whole sugar daddy thing. I'm not about to pay you because you think. It's sickening. It's really sickening, the way these women think. So it's that's the way it is. The fake eyelashes. That should let you know right now. All the fake eyelashes, the tight pants, because they want somebody to look at their body. They don't even value themselves. So, toward my ex-wife had a nice body, but that's cool when it comes to hitting it. When it comes to hitting it, that's cool, but anything else than that, it's worthless to me. I mean, what skills do you have to hold the family down? Are you even mature? Because my wife, I think, ex-wife, she just turned 50, but she got the mind of a 16-year-old. So I'm like, nah, that's not gonna work for me. That's not gonna work for me. So you gotta figure out what works for you. As a man, what's gonna work for you? Is it just hitting it? You don't need to get married just to hit it, just to have sex. That's something that just comes naturally. Marriage is a contract. That's why you got to sign a contract to get married, because her estate is joining your estate. I think they call it an enjoiner, or you're enjoined, which means that your estates are enjoined. You know what I mean? Your estates are enjoined. So that's what it is. You're enjoining your estate with this woman. Now, if the woman ain't really bringing anything to the table, then why are you enjoining your estate to someone who's broke? Right? And that's basically what my ex was. She was broke. I mean, she did hair, but she was constantly in debt. She didn't even know what cash or currency was, and she still don't know what it is. Even I told her old ignorant ass. But that's a little too deep for someone who's a simpleton. So you definitely want somebody like me. I would have to have a woman who's intelligent or highbrow. I'm starting to use the word highbrow. It's the same word, but in English. I need a woman who's highbrowed. I don't need a stupid woman that she would just be my slave if she was that stupid. It's just being a slave. I mean, because that's the only thing you could be to me, is a slave. If you just don't come with nothing to bring to the table, you're going to be my slave. And I don't want a woman to be my slave. I want her to be my equal, 50-50. And that's what I guess Mexican women aren't really raised that way. They're not really raised to be the equal of the man. They're just made to cook and clean for the man. But that's a maid. That's a slave maid. That holds no value for me. And that was that's my fault. It was a bad decision that I made. Will not make it again. You know what I mean? I'm about to be 43 on May 4th. I forgot what Nuwabian date that was. On our website, you can calculate your born day on our calculator on our site at unnm.net. I bought this tea in Kingman, Arizona 2 days ago. It tastes like a green tea. I think it's jasmine tea. And it really helps out with your digestive. And it tastes kind of mild, but smooth at the same time. I really enjoy it. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So, yeah, that's why I think arranged marriages are good if you're marrying a man who is sensitive toward a woman's needs, not an abusive man. You know what I mean? And hopefully the woman is not abusive also, because women have egos. It's just different. Because of course a woman is not gonna physically beat up a man. So a woman has to think of other ways to get at you. If she don't, some women are marrying dudes that hate men. They really hate men. And that's how my ex-wife was turned out. If you don't like men, then you should go with a woman. Or go to therapy to get over what you're going through. You know what I mean? And so that, that's important. That's important to know. Does she hate men? Research the woman that you're with, her family. Was she heavily promiscuous in the past? Because you don't want to marry a whore. Yeah, did she go crazy with some Dills Nick back in the day? You may not want that, or you may want it, but you got to find out. You know what I mean? And a woman must have some type of discipline, or she will go crazy. You're gonna end up seeing her on some porno channel or something, or hearing about it from the neighborhood. You don't want to go through that, man. So figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Figure it out before you get engaged or married. I'm not saying the ex was like that, but she did have sex with men for money. You know what I mean? And then she lied and said she didn't tell me that, when I had another witness say that she said that. So, and then to lie about it and to pretend was really a slap in my face. So then, I guess she didn't even know how to reconcile the relationship. She was just so retarded and stupid. It was sad. I'm like, I was married to this person? Marriage didn't last long. It was less than a year, thank goodness. That I was able to just quickly move on. But we were together for about 3.5, 4 years before we got married. We got married on the master teacher's birthday. But it was an HTM wedding, not a Caucasoid state marriage. I refuse to get one of them. I will never get a Caucasoid marriage, so that ain't gonna happen. Because she would have taken half of what I had, and then she didn't even do nothing. Well, she did a little something, you know what I mean? Like when we moved out here, I started truck driving, and when I quit the truck driving, she worked for a little bit to hold it down. So I can't say she did absolutely nothing. I'm talking about spiritually and mentally. When I would, not be in my best mood or be a little down, she wouldn't know what to say to me. You know what I mean? And that was the big disconnect. Like, she was so immature, so stupid. She didn't know how to be in a relationship, but she wanted to get married. So watch out for the conflicted woman who wants something but can't handle the responsibility of it. And what I'm speaking about is marriage. You know what I mean? So, just a whole bunch of contradictory thoughts. She tried to go to therapy a couple of times. She would stop and go and stop and go. And it was the game. She was playing the game. And she would tell me things I wanted to hear, but she had no intentions on really doing it. And so everything she did, even studying the Wabu, start and stop, start and stop. And if I would have known she would have done that, I would have never married her at all. Because she thought getting married was some kind of fantasy. It was going to fix everything, like a lot of women do. Right. And I said, you know, we've been together for 3.5 years, so let's try it. I had never been married before. I still really feel like I've never been married. I don't even feel like that was really a marriage. But technically I was. And her life just had no meaning. Just, you know, kind of just copy me and, you know, following me, which is good, but still you got to have your heart in it if you're going to follow somebody. What she did was just copy me, you know, with Nuwabu, and, you know, she tried to bring purpose to her own life, but the devil in her just wouldn't allow her, you know, to do that. And so she started to treat me like the enemy when I withheld sex. Yeah, I withheld it because I'm like, you're not talking to me. I'm not comfortable with who you are. Therefore, I'm not comfortable having sex with you. You know what I mean? So that was a big issue for me. And she did nothing to rectify it. So I did nothing to rectify her little horny problem. Right? I didn't care. You know? And that's the honest truth. I don't care. I still don't care. You know, you give me what I want, I give you what you want. Of course, I want to have sex, but I want to feel comfortable with my wife. Like I said, if you didn't want to get married and you were just staying here, cool, we'd do it because I wouldn't expect much from you. You wouldn't be my wife. Therefore, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't put that responsibility on you, but you put the responsibility on yourself to have a conversation at least. I mean, she was so retarded, she couldn't even have a conversation. So that just lets me know the mental damage that was done by her previous 2 marriages and how she got pimped out and abused, which, you know, I don't condone that either. But you're not going to make me pay the price for what these other 2 dudes did to you. And now you hate men. Hey, that's on you. Don't bring that stuff into my home. That evil, I hate men stuff, but I want to get married to a man. And, you know, I want his balls and, you know what I mean? Like, but then you don't want to do anything that I'm really asking for. You know what I mean? And I mean mental and spiritual things, like having a conversation like a normal human being. She just couldn't do it. So anyway, you know, if you could feel what I'm saying, then that's cool. If you can't, that's cool too. This is just what happened to me in my last marriage. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna keep the show short, you know what I mean? Because I didn't really write the show notes out for this. I'm just kind of just talking to y'all. Or you all. Y'all sounds too southern country. I don't even like that. I like to sound intelligent. Because I am intelligent. I'm highbrow. Show my highbrowness. So I will say to you all, Wadu, Ile Leka, and I'll make another follow-up show talking about situations with women, but using the Family Guide. Okay, because the Family Guide keeps us all together. And the funny thing is about my last marriage is she would use anything against me in an argument. Like, she would hold, if I didn't follow something in the Family Guide, she would try to hold me to it. But she wasn't following the Family Guide. Talking about the master teacher, she didn't even really know who the master teacher was. So watch out for evil women, like it says in the book of Revelation. They'll try to use anything against you. Of course, it didn't work because she was stupid. I'm just going to call it, she was dumb to try to use that against me. Because I'm like, you have no knowledge of what you're talking about. Again, you're just copying what I'm saying, right? And I would never use the Family Guide against her. I would say, well, let's try to follow what's in the Family Guide, you know. And if I did something she didn't like, she would look it up in the Family Guide and say, oh, well, you're not doing this. I'm like, you're not even a Nuwabian. What are you talking about? So what do they do in Mexican culture? I heard they just slap the hell out you when you backtalk a man. Or kill you. They killing like 8 to 10 women a day in Mexico, I heard. They don't care about women at all in Mexico. They bodying girls out there. So I didn't treat you like that. But anyway, watch out for men and women who are just not ready for marriage but want to get married. Put them to the test. And I thought I was doing that for 3.5 years with my ex, but she withheld some facts from me until after we got married. Yeah, she was supposed to stop drinking and she didn't. And the last 2 fights that we had, she was drinking. So watch out for the pitfalls, Nuwabian brothers and sisters. That's all I'm talking to is Nuwabians. You know, watch out for these Jezebels. Come out of her, my people. That's why the book of Revelation uses women, because women can be wicked. Evil-hearted women bringing evilness into your home, you will never live a spiritual life. Like another brother told me, I ain't gonna say no names, because I love the brother, right? Nuwabian brother. He told me his ex-wife, supposedly a Nuwabian woman, got mad at him and said, you love Dr. York more than you love me, and threw the Holy Torah in the trash. You hear me? She threw it in the trash. And I'm like, yeah, get rid of her right away. She's evil. That's an evil woman. That's a black devil. That's a black devil, a black woman devil. You don't do that. Like I said, some of these women are acting like children. They want your attention. They want you to only focus on them. Now I could see if the brother was focusing on another woman. Oh no, you're supposed to do, yeah, you are supposed to focus on your lady. It's not meaning that you're never gonna look at another woman. You could look and say, oh, she's attractive, but you don't have to sleep with her and be with her, right? You have a wife. Unless it's agreed upon that you can have more than one wife. Now that's up to you and your first wife. Now, to say that you love Dr., that's just a little child statement. And these women are in their 40s and 50s, bro. So it's not like they're 18 right out of high school. These women are older. But like it says in The Man from Planet Risk, some people never pass a certain maturity level, no matter how physically old they get. And we'll read an excerpt from Man from Planet Risk too. Also to mention that Holy Tabernacle Ministry University is getting kicked off. We'll be reading the Supreme Mathematics and going over that, having tests, making sure the future ministers are also learning the lessons of Nuwabu, So all these things coalesce, and it's no coincidence that a lot of these women are doing the same thing. They're hustling men for money because they know they can get divorce, alimony, child support. And I urge every man who has any wealth with a woman who has no wealth to sign a private marriage contract. Now, Golden Moore Services does offer that. You know what I'm saying? So you can call, I think it's 928-685-2764 to get in contact with us about protecting yourself against these women. Because they'll lie to you, and then once you get married, they're going to switch. Most women are going to switch. Especially women with no culture. And religion is not culture. I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about like tribal culture. Having your language, your dress, having some type of foundation to your life. That's what I'm talking about. And so it's very important to know these things, you know what I mean? So as we end the show today, actually, I wanted to showcase a song that I did. Okay, I'm just hoping my internet's not going too slow, and it doesn't look like it is. So, actually, I need to go to SoundCloud to play my song. So anyway, as I'm bringing this up, women are going through a tough, especially melanated Moorish women, whether they know they're Moors or not, they're going through a tough transition right now because their culture is American, and we know American culture is manufactured by corporations and the CIA. So therefore, they don't have a real culture. They're going by what they see on TV, you know what I'm saying? So it's very important that if you take an uncultured woman, more than likely it's not going to work, especially if she's over 30 years old. If she's just an American Negro woman, excuse me, it's pretty much not going to work. It's not going to work. You know what I mean? It's just simply not going to work. You know what? I'm going to play that song after I end the show. I'm just going to add it in post-production. But it's pretty much just not going to work. You need to get with a woman who's a little younger. Someone you can instill knowledge and wisdom and culture upon. Because once a woman loves to operate off assumptions. I've learned that when I was with my Hindu girlfriend when I was about 24. I did a lot of different nationalities and races of women, so her name was Mona. I ain't gonna say her last name, but still got love for Mona. Learned a lot with Mona. I was with her for 9 years and we almost got married. But she operates off of a lot of assumptions. Women get locked into a routine more easily than a man does. So if you train a woman to cook and clean like they do in Mexico, that's all she gonna do is cook and clean. Now, she may have a little bit of consciousness and say, look, I want to do more than cook and clean, but by the time they get to a certain age, it's over. Stick a fork in these women, it's over. All they're gonna do is cook and clean. You know, they get locked into a routine. Like my ex-wife, she did hair. As I mentioned earlier, tried to get her away from doing hair, and she was actually pretty good at making clothes, but she would never turn the clothes making into a business, which is much more profitable than cutting hair. Doing color is nice, but once you do that for 20 or 30 years, standing up on your feet all day with your hands, you can't do that stuff when you're 50, 60, 70 years old. You know, making clothes is a lot less rough on the body. You know what I mean? Let the young girls do hair. You know what I mean? She taught her daughter to do hair. She's pretty good. Let the youngins do that. You're too old to be doing that now. Let's just do something. Let's start a business. You know what I mean? But it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. You know, that's where the saying comes from. But a man too, don't get me wrong, a man too, but a man likes to work with his hands. You know, he would like to build something, work on the car, you know what I'm saying? Build a house. Women really don't have these options. Well, they actually do, but it's not in their nature to do that. You know, they might get into knitting, sewing, making clothes, which is cool, building websites, but, they still want a man to support them. Women got all these opportunities now in America, and at the end of the day, they still want a man to embrace them and to take care of them. And even get angry about it if they don't have it. So you make them equal, but then they don't take advantage of the equalness. Now you hear some Caucasian guys talking about this, right? And the guy came up with a good point. I'm not gonna front. The Caucasoid came up with a good point. He said, if you're in a burning building right? And you call the fire department. Who do you want to come pick you up? A little pretty girl who can only lift about 40 pounds? Or do you want a strong man to go in there, risk his life, and drag you out of there, pick you up, drag you out of there, and get you to safety? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pick the latter. You know, no offense, little pretty girl, but you weren't made to do something like that. And then they complain, oh, we don't get equal pay. Well, you're not doing an equal job. Yeah, you're not doing it. You can't lift up. You're not made like that. So it's only right that you don't get paid as much as a man in that particular instance. You know what I mean? When it comes to physical jobs like that, women ain't gonna get paid as much as men. Of course not. Now in the IT field, it's all about using your mind. But even in IT, you got to be aggressive. You know what I'm saying? So again, or a woman may get pregnant, not work. You know what I'm saying? The man don't get pregnant. So he can continue to work when, you know, corporations will look favorable upon that. You know what I mean? But it all depends on how much value that woman is bringing to the company. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? We love women, but women just don't love themselves. That's why you get a lot of makeup, a lot of plastic surgery. These are signs of psychological damage, right? These are signs of mental instability. So I would advise any man who's getting with a woman who had plastic surgery pretty much means she has no soul. She ain't got no soul. You know what I mean? The only reason I can see getting plastic surgery is some kind of deformity, or maybe a woman after she had a baby, you know, the stretch marks. I could see that. I can see that. But besides that, they don't need surgery. All right? So anyway, I'm going to end the show right there. I hope you enjoy my music at the end. And I'm going to actually upload this episode to YouTube because I've just been hitting the podcast platforms lately. So check it out. Let me know what you guys think. And I'm out. Wadu. Peace and love.
Whip fully equipped, getting a massage. Don't be jealous or get marked or scarred. A strong mind like Marcus Garvey. Hardly they touch this rap. Much easier to bust it. Yeah, I'm a hard target to hit. You get that? Voice versatility, all black. I'm a name marvelously marked with a fat back. She's inside with me. She's singing to me like Whitney Houston. She know my big stuff. Kids wanna be me. When they grow up. Riches and property with no pay cuts. Sorry, I don't pay sons, so no Joseph Jacob. Take off that fake weave, you caked up your makeup. No short West Covina, even if you slow. If you mess around, then we'll let the horns blow. I don't rap for show.
Yeah, you bust up. We know who you are. Yeah, you bust up. The neighborhood superstar. Yeah, you bust up. We know who you are. Yeah, you bust up. The neighborhood superstar.
She like, really, brilliant? Tell us who the fuck you are. The way I shine in the night, shit, I must be a star. I was all up on her ass, told her don't even start. Said, girl, stop playing, get your ass in the car. I'm doing big things, big stuff. Michael Jordan talking 6 rings, but it still ain't enough. And when it seems like I'm running out of luck, I got big dreams, so I do it for the love. Hold up. So who the fuck y'all thought this was? Some try to play thug, but they really a scrub. Some thinking that they dope, but they just on drugs. Always posting with the blick, but they ain't gon' bust. So I go ahead and end with this. If you like my hits, then go like my shit. Now you might be nice, but you not like this. And if you do it big, we can coexist.
Yeah, you bust up.